Right, here we go. This is kind of like lesson 1 on building an armature. The first way I'm going to do it is I'm going to use some cardboard. I have like a little piece of cardboard here. It's a cardboard cereal box. And remember that an armature is basically the skeleton of your paper mache sculpture that you kind of build off of and create a body. And what you're going to need is you're going to need your reference photos. So that we can accurately portray our animal in our sculpture. And remember that this project is all about proportion. We're focusing on proportions, and the way we figure out proportions is, if you remember, you can kind of compare different parts of your body to each other. So that you kind of figure out little rules. Like, remember, the human body is usually about, if you measure your head, your height is about 7 to 8 heads tall. So you have that comparison. Or if you measure your hand, remember, you're about 10 of your hands tall. I like to, when I'm kind of doing an animal, I like to just always compare the head to the rest of the body. So in this case, I'm going to look at, I have a jaguar, and I'm just going to do an approximate comparison. I'm just going to use like my fingers to kind of figure things out. You can use a ruler if you would like to. I don't have a ruler at my house right now, so I'm just going to kind of use my finger. And the head of the jaguar is about like the tip of my index finger. It's about that long, and then I kind of see like how many of those little fingers long is it. So if it's about this long here, I can kind of go down the rest of its back. It's like 1, 2, 3, maybe 3.5 heads long from its back, which means it's about, including its head, it's about 4.5 heads long. So I know I need to kind of capture that proportion. I can also kind of compare the head to like pieces of the legs right here. Like, for example, this like part of its it's like, on us we would call it like our forearm. I don't know if you call it a foreleg, I don't know. But you take that, and like that's about 1 head long. Right here, this upper part of their leg, it's about 1.25 heads long or something like that. So you can kind of start to make comparisons. The little tail gets cut off in the leaves, so I can't tell how many heads long the tail is, but that's okay because I can use another picture to figure that out. Now what I've done is, if you can see, I've kind of did a little outline of the basic parts of its body. So just like the basic inner part, like its head down to its, like down its vertebrae into its tushy. If you could see in the magenta color, I kind of outlined that piece. And then in this turquoise color, I outlined the basic shape and form of its front leg right here. I did, in an orange marker, I kind of outlined the basic shape of its hind leg right here, and in a green marker, I kind of guessed at what the other 2 legs on the other side of its body would look like, because I want to make flat shapes out of that, which I've done here, okay? So I'm going to kind of cut out these basic shapes and use this as my armature, use it as like a frame of the body, so that I can build off of this and add to it to create like a fluffy little jaguar. And as you can see, my magenta shape right here, the basic piece of the body is here, and all of my colors kind of correspond. You don't have to do this with colors, I just kind of wanted to, to be able to see it on camera. Now, as I'm doing this, as I was doing this, I was checking my proportions, trying to make everything nice and even. I blew up I enlarged my pieces here from the picture, because if I try to make this oh my god, this is so tiny. I want to make a sculpture bigger than that, so I tried to blow it up a little bit. So as I was going along, I figured that the head was about the length of like part of my thumb, like that, and I made sure that that was in like 3.5 thumbs across or something like that. So I was trying to keep those proportions. I also kind of checked on my picture. This leg right here was about the same thickness as the head right here. Okay. And then I realized here when I made my head, I didn't keep it the same thickness as here. So you can always go back and kind of fix things. This leg needed to be a little skinnier. Like that. So you can go back and fix your proportions and fix your drawings as you're going along, okay? So you want to really keep proportion in key. Now, the head, I didn't completely draw it all out because later on I'm going to add clay to this like dry clay. It dries in like minutes. And it's a special little like Crayola clay that we're going to use. And so I'm going to add more details. I'm going to make the face a little longer later. So I'm going to add those details later. So I didn't make it so long when I drew it out right here. So I'm just keeping that in mind later on. Like little details like the ears and everything, I'm going to add those details later on with some clay. So I'm just skipping it. So for now, I'm going to cut these pieces out and then I'll show you how to kind of push them together.